Hi folks, it's Gertie again from Einsmall. Today we're making a very short video, but it's a naughty one. It's called penetration. And now you're gonna think, Gertie, what are you up to? No, it's not that type of penetration. Today we're gonna focus on pellet penetration. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna shoot my HW100, which I know has a very consistent velocity, and I'm gonna shoot different types of pellets, from the sharp pointy ones to the very numb ones, into a 5-liter water bottle to see what the react would be. Which one goes the furthest, which one has the biggest bubble, in other words the shock impact on the bottle. Yes, this is not scientific because the bottle doesn't have a superiorly flat surface, but I think the idea behind this will be immaculate. So let's get into this. You'll see that in today I'm going to use different bottles, because when I experimented a little bit, I did this to my bottle. My initial thought was that went straight through, no problem whatsoever, which leaves me with the problem, I don't want the pellet to go straight through. But this is where the weird thing happened. If I slow this down, you can actually see that the pellet only penetrated and then dropped straight down. Now, was that the force behind it that made a hole in the bottle? Because I did not see the pellet exit on the other side. If you look closely here, you can actually see the pellet dropping down to the bottom. So what punched the hole on the other side? Or was it just a fragment of the pellet that went straight through? Now that, ladies and gentlemen, is a standard sub 12 foot-pound Diablo shaped pellet in 8.44 grain, straight through a 5-liter water bottle. I had to do a bit of patchwork, not the greatest work I've ever done, you'll see it on the edges, and then I reshot it, but this time from the bottom up. That also sounds very suggestive. No, let's not go there. From the bottom up, here are all these pellets in a row, and I'll explain what happens as we go along. First one up is the Diablo shaped, your normal JSBs and H&N Baracudas. Let's give this one a rip. Way too fast for the naked eye, so let me slow it down, and I'm going to slow it down to frame by frame to see what the impact is, how far it travels, all of those lacquer things we want to know. The force behind the pellet is quite great, but check where the pellet actually ends up. Right at the entry, right bottom corner. Again, it didn't penetrate further than a centimeter into the water bottle. Next up, Baracuda Hunter. Oh shit, I ate my bottle gebreek. Ah! A very short, punchy shockwave. The Baracuda Hunter actually makes it to the front of the bottle with one piece in the front and one piece that remained in the back. That was interesting. Next up is the H&N Hornet, that one with the solid brass tip, the shiny tip. The Hornet made an elongated shockwave and went upwards. It even made a small little hole on the plastic on the top. The pellet basically disintegrated. I couldn't find solid pieces except for a small piece that stayed in the back. For penetration purposes, it went a heck of a lot faster further. Moving on to the H&N Terminator. Let's see what the shockwave is on this little baby. Yep, that was way too fast for my eyes. Let's slow it down again to 1 frame per second. This is probably the most interesting freeze frame I've seen in a while. There's actually a double shockwave, the one in the beginning and then a second one further down, with the ascent of the projectile still continuing forward. Now that was an interesting one. Baracuda Hunter Extreme teen 60 frames per second. The first shockwave is nice and flat, and the second one right to the top and very small as the projectile changed shape and also changed direction. I could not find the pellet.
Ooh, look what I found. Finale match. Let's see what they do. This was probably one of the most interesting ones. The impact is a very linear line. I thought the impact, because of the flat nose, will be massive at entry and then die out. But it's a very long elongated and it went almost straight through the bottle. Wow! JSB PolyMag with a soft red tip. I expected a much bigger shockwave initially, but it was actually a flattish type shockwave straight through the curve. Last one for today is the H&N Crow Magnums with the big hollow point in front. Let's see how big the shockwave is going to be. The hollow point assists the pellet in dropping all its energy right in the beginning of the water bottle. Now that was a lot of fun.
Thank you folks for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed that as much as I did. I'll see you guys in the next video. Remember that old saying, like, subscribe, hit the button, share whatever you want to. Love you guys.
That's all, folks.